I want to bring in retired Army Captain Sam Brown, who is the candidate from Nevada. Before that, a video he just posted about the Democrats' attack on him.
I am proud of my scars. They might look a little different, but it gives me an opportunity to encourage others. And so lean into it. Lean into the things that make you unique. Lean into the things that others might call weird, and realize that your experience, whether it was suffering or something else, gives you an opportunity to connect with others and give them hope.
Sam Brown, welcome to the show. Why did you tell me why you felt the need to react to in the video that we just played for folks?
You know, we live in an era where people seem to try and make a name for themselves by tearing others down. And what I found in my own life, Sean, is that sometimes it's the things that kind of beat us up, scar us, might be a little bit different, that is actually a strength of ours. And I'm just sick and tired of this kind of culture of tear downs that we live in. And frankly, I think that more people shouldn't be afraid to show, who they really are. And, the Democrats can attack me on a number of things. Maybe we have a disagreement in policy. But at the end of the day, the message isn't so much about politics. It's about personal pride and having confidence that we are all special. We're all unique, but we all have a purpose, and we should really lean into that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel it's like, so I just had Hung Cao on the show, right? He served for 25 years in the Navy. It's interesting that he's had attacks about his service. They post this video about you. And I just want to it seems like there's a double standard when it comes to service. Like they can attack people on the right for their service, but we're not supposed to be talking about their side, anyone on their side that served. Do you think there's a media double standard and a leftist standard when it comes to what you can say about somebody's service?
Well, yeah. I mean, Sean, look, there's a double standard in a lot of things, and that's just one example of it. If you're a conservative, if you're a Republican running for office, you're going to be nitpicked about every single thing, whether it's policy, it's your biography, it's your professional, history. This is what the media does as an apparatus of the Democrat Party. And it's no surprise that that's the way they operate, in part because they're trying to cover up for their own failures, and they're trying to gaslight the American people on the issues that look, Nevadans, when I talk to them about, what's going on in their life, the number one concern is still financial hardship. It's still higher cost. It's, a fear of inflation. It's that, housing prices are so high, interest rates are so high, people can't afford to buy a home. The border crisis that, by the way, we had this border czar named Kamala Harris, overseeing. It's been a absolute disaster. It's been a humanitarian crisis. It's led to a scourge of fentanyl, killing 100,000 people a year. I mean, known terrorists coming across the world. I mean, so these are the issues and concerns that Nevadans have. And frankly, the media is trying to kind of get people to be distracted, and in my estimation, from those real issues and focus on these other things.
So you talk about issues that your constituents would face out there in Nevada. But it seems like the other side doesn't want to talk about issues, right? There's no policy page on Kamala's website. She is avoid doing media interviews, but she goes out to Nevada and basically plagiarizes Donald Trump's issue of no tax on tips, right? So let me just ask you this. You talk about how financially strapped so many people out there are. If I'm a voter in Nevada right now and I hear Trump saying no tax on tips, Kamala comes out this weekend and says no tax on tips, I get it. It's plagiarism. It's stolen. But if you're a voter in Nevada, do you care now? Do you go, great, both sides don't want it?
What I think I'm doing is I'm saying, well, hey, here's a proposal that was introduced and championed by Donald Trump that now has got Democrats even in Congress signing on to it. Initially, my opponent, Jackie Rosen, came out Her campaign had some bizarre statement about how, this is sort of a campaign gimmick. Literally said, this policy will hurt working class Nevadans. Now,
now
we hear
what?
back from the voters on this. This is something, again, that President Trump introduced. I was all over it immediately, along with so many other Republicans. And now they are saying that they are for it. So here's the good news for voters, is there is no excuse for us to not be able to get this through, regardless of how slim a Republican majority may be come January of 25. So look, I'm excited. This is a win for Nevadans. This is a win for so many Americans. And look, here's another thing that we can add on to this list is no tax on Social Security for seniors. It's amazing to me that started as a tax out of income and is being taxed again. We owe it to our seniors, especially at a time where these policies have left so many strapped. In fact, I've got a neighbor who had to go back to work because Social Security and her reverse mortgage weren't enough to make ends meet. These are the sort of policies that are championed by Republicans. And if this administration, being the Biden administration and Kamala Harris, want to jump onto it later, look, let's take that victory through with bipartisan legislation in 2025.
So let me just ask you, tactically speaking, right? Is it better to embrace? It seems like what I'm hearing from you is let's embrace the issue and take the win, take the W. Or is it better to call out their hypocrisy and their flip-flops and saying it's amazing? Jackie Rosen said this was a political scam or whatever she said. Here's who she really is. She'll say anything. Or is it better to take the W and say, great, now we've got a commitment that this isn't going to happen?
Well, I think it's both, Sean. I think that it's a clear demonstration of hypocrisy. Sort of at best, it may just be sort of policy incompetence as well. So, look, the voters are smart. We can illustrate the hypocrisy. We can illustrate. Look, at the end of the day, what we're seeing is sort of the difference in leadership versus following. President Trump has been leading. Kamala's following. I've been leading. Jackie Rosen's been following. And at the end of the day, people who are struggling with these tough issues in life need leaders, not followers. And we'll remind them of that. But then let's also take that win all the way through and create some legislation that gets signed into law.
But don't you think it's worth reminding people in Nevada and the country that like these folks, both Kamala and Jackie Rosen, now have hopped on the Trump train when it comes to no tax on tips, but they're the people who voted to expand the IRS to the tune of 50,000 new agents. So it's sort of like, I don't want to tax you, but then I'm going to send these folks to come after you to make sure you're not hiding anything to uproot. I mean, can you imagine you're making 50, 60, 80 grand a year and you've got the IRS doing a proctoral exam? I mean, I can't even imagine what that's like to your life, the time commitment, the disruption for a working man or woman in this country right now. And so they want to take credit for saying, oh, we're not going to tax your tips, but we're going to send the IRS after you to make sure that we go through your entire life to collect anything that we think is owed.
Yeah, no, it's a fair point. And I think that a lot of folks realize that. I mean, I was out just 2 nights ago with my family. We took the kids to the skateboard park to just, have a little bit of family time, went and grabbed some fried chicken afterwards. And it was kind of late and not a lot of folks in the restaurant. But on the way out the door, a family stopped me and said, Sam, we're going to be voting for you. And I said, do you mind telling me, why you made that decision? He said, I'm concerned about my future. I'm a small business owner. I have an auto repair shop, and the Democrats' policies are really causing me fear about whether or not I can keep my business open. Now, here's someone who literally works with their hands, contributes to sort of the greater economy and greater society at large. I mean, how many people can actually go out and repair their own car? He employs other people. So he has a very positive impact in this world, and he's afraid and will be voting based off of the Democrats' policies, as you said. It's not only just taxes, it's regulations as well. And
so, you know what? Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, you touched on something as you're speaking. It's making me think about these stories that I'm reading over the weekend, that Trump is fear-based and Kamala and Tim Walz are all about joy. right? This is the Plouffe, the new David Plouffe angle, which is how do we then recreate the Obama hope? Well, we'll just call it joy. And it seems to me the story that you're telling about this auto repair guy is that fear probably does sell better. I'm scared about my future based on what they're selling.
Yeah, I think it activates people, right, to a point of doing something. In this case, getting out to vote. But what I don't want to miss, especially as a Republican with real policies that can help people and help people help themselves, really. It's like, let's get the government out of the way in a lot of these cases and allow people sort of the room to be able to chart their own path towards the American dream. But it's not good enough for us to just sort of introduce the realities of fear. We need to make sure that we're delivering the backside of that, which is a hopeful message. And look, the Dems and Kamala and Walz can, have their rallies and they can put their smiles on and they can have all sorts of pop stars or whatever, do concerts and have an atmosphere of joy. But at the end of the day, their policies are what's destructive or puts people at risk. And when we have such strong policies that can help, we need to make sure we're not missing that and that we're illustrating just the stresses of life and under Democrat leadership versus the opportunity with Republicans.
Well, if you enjoyed this content, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get more.